Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Suds News. I'm Vinny. You see Angela right below me, and we have a special guest on today, David from Take Two Radio, and he's going to be joining us tonight. David, guests first. David, how are you today?
I'm doing very well. Thank you, Vinny. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. Thank you for coming on. Matter of fact, thank you for joining us. It's been a while since we heard the last episode of Take Two Radio Soaps and Review. So David is going to be joining us tonight to talk all about General Hospital. Angela, how are you today?
Glorious.
That's fantastic. I'm glad to hear. Did you feel the earthquake?
I did, yes.
I did not.
You did.
It was like nothing. I lived in California, so when I was a kid, so I know from earthquake, but it was, I felt it and I was like, okay, but it wasn't, I'm right outside of Boston. So I felt it, but it wasn't a big deal. My brother and my sister-in-law actually got into an argument because they were sitting in the kitchen. And then he went, "Did you turn the dryer on? What's in there?" And she's like, "I don't think so. I don't think I turned the dryer on." He's like, and it got into an argument about how could you forget if you turned the dryer on, and then he ended up having to apologize because she didn't turn the dryer on. It was an earthquake.
I didn't feel it. I didn't feel it in Connecticut, although I was
really
probably a little too far away.
Yeah.
But for those of you who are in Maine, the earthquake was a 3.9 magnitude on the Richter scale, right off the coast of York Harbor, Maine. So that's why Angela's a lot closer in Boston. That's why she was able to feel it. New London, Connecticut probably got a little bit of it, but not too much. I'm further north. Hey, Donna. Hey, Steve. Welcome to the chat. Donna asked, hey, who's the guy in the dark? That is David, who is formerly from Take Two Radio Soaps and Review. He'll be joining us tonight. Got a lot to go over. Before we do, let's kind of go over a couple things. Starting next week, we're going to be doing a couple new segments on the show, kind of spice up the show a little bit. We're going to be starting something in terms of going back into the history books of General Hospital and bringing up the history of what happened on this date in General Hospital history, and kind of talking about some of the older storylines as well. We're going to be doing a couple other things in terms of guess the actor based on their childhood picture. So that'll be starting next week. I'm still working on the graphics for it.
And it'll be in conjunction with Petty Prattle.
Yes.
We'll be posting articles on Petty Prattle with things leading up to it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Awesome. So, yes, it'll be in conjunction with Petty Prattle. For those of you who have been reading the blogs on suds-media.com, I did not put one up this past week. It was just way too busy for me. I'll get back to it this coming week.
Just kidding.
I know. I've been slacking. So Donna put up the, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, she put up, this compliment. I'm assuming that's the GOAT. So somebody here is the GOAT. I'm assuming it's David. So far we got 37 people watching live on all of the different outlets. Hey, Jeannie, welcome to the chat. So I do.
You guys can't see me?
Yeah,
we can see you. You're just a little darker than we are.
Oh, because
your background is just a little bit darker. Yeah. That's all.
Blurred.
You're good.
You're good.
Yeah. You're good.
So we saw. We did get to see. The first scenes of Michael in Germany. Michael being brought to Germany. Carly went to Germany with him. We'll start off right there with Carly in Germany and in the hotel room. And who follows her out to Germany?
Yep, of course. Those scenes were so good. Laura Wright, like even before Jack showed up, when she was so upset and she picked up the glass or the water and she was about to, Laura Wright has been just phenomenal.
Yes.
Just absolutely phenomenal, showing Carly's without being crazy.
Yes.
You know what I mean? She's not like lashing out at tons of people and da-da-da-da-da, you know, I mean, she's lashed out at Willow, but, you know, Willow kind of has it coming a little bit.
She does.
You know?
Yeah.
And, I mean, she's been much better to Sonny than he deserves because this was his fault.
Yes.
You know, but, you know, she mentioned, you know, she said it at the beginning, but then hasn't been up his butt about it, and
exactly. And
she was so good on Monday. Yes, last week. Yeah,
she really was, and I truly enjoyed. I just like the whole story surrounding it, like the fact that Chad left and we had this exit for Michael, but it caused so much story. We see Jack and Carly getting closer, and I. For a minute there, I thought they were going to kiss.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we might get a kiss because they grow closer later this week, so it's possible there's a kiss, but there's no S rating this week, so they're definitely not hitting the sheets unless they surprise us with an S rating. But the ratings for the week are usually in the promo, and there wasn't one. I was looking today.
Yeah. Today's episode, I don't know why some people called today's episode boring. I liked it. I thought it was filled with a lot of information. But we'll get there.
We'll get there. Yeah. Well, what's funny is that some people know that City TV, the Canadian channel that airs GH, accidentally put up Mondays on Saturday. So we had a couple watch parties yesterday.
Yeah, you never sent me the link.
Well, it's my regular Zoom link, and you were doing your homework. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
So yeah, we had some watch parties of it, so we got it early. But then we still watch today because they don't show the previews. Yeah,
gotcha. I do want to remind everybody that while we're talking about Carly, Angela and I are going to meet Laura Wright in April. We're meeting Laura Wright, Finola Hughes, and Charles Measure in April in Stanford. We will be presenting Laura Wright with a Lifetime Achievement Championship belt. And if anybody wants to help the cause and donate towards it, I will be putting up the schematics of it this week because I'll be ordering it this week. If anybody wants to help and donate towards it, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/Suds Media, make a donation. And if you do donate, you'll go ahead. We'll put your name in the card that we're going to give her as well. So again, buymeacoffee.com/Suds Media. I'm actually going to go ahead and put that in the chat right now. That link. So we had one person that did go ahead and donate. So thank you very much for that. But I am going to be ordering it this week. So go to that link, buymeacoffee.com/Suds Media, and help us out with to offset the cost of the Lifetime Achievement Championship belt for Laura Wright. So we did get a lot of the fallout, obviously, from Michael being burned and going crispy. We did only have 4 episodes this week. So we have 4 episodes Tuesday through Friday to talk about. I have to say, I was very impressed with Nina again this week. Nina is the conscience.
I'm going to let you go with this, but then I'm going to smack you down. Go ahead.
He's coming around a little.
Go ahead.
Normally, Nina is not somebody that I agree with, but this week I have to say I agreed with her in terms of trying to keep Willow away from Drew, trying to talk some sense into Willow, go back to the Quartermains, take the whatever, and that Drew didn't have to be fully up her butt, and that she can make decisions on her own. However, at the same time, as we saw today. Yeah.
And that's the thing and it's not just as we've seen today. We saw it constantly. We know she's not willing. She's putting herself before her daughter.
Yes.
Again.
Yes.
That's the thing, is that she could very easily end things with Drew and Willow, but
Yes.
it would cost her. It's going to make her relationship, bad, or, make problems for her and Willow. So she cares about her daughter. She loves her daughter, but she's not doing what is best for her daughter and grandchildren. She's putting herself first in front of her daughter and in front of her grandkids.
Yes. And that's what I was going to say, is that, like today, she's not willing to put out the sacrifice of her relationship with Willow to say, hey, when he was banging you, he was banging me too. Because that would surely break them.
Exactly.
I don't know how politely she can put that to her, but any way you say it, it's not right, so she might as well just say it.
Exactly. Aisha in the chat, welcome to the chat, it does make a good point. Drew needs to stop claiming that he started or founded Aurora. He purchased an existing company, which we know Julian Jerome actually started it, Derek Wells, but it was Drew and Sam that renamed it Aurora and went on from there. But Curtis,
and I mean, Julian's company wasn't great.
No, it wasn't. It was.
You know what I mean? Julian actually was trying to tank the company.
He was, yeah.
So, yeah.
And honestly, it was
it's okay.
Drew and Sam that made it profitable and made it made it good. And it was, technically Nina that helped to make Derek Wells Media profitable when she took over Crimson and made Crimson, the best subsidiary of Aurora or Derek Wells Media.
Yeah, well, actually, the credit for that goes to Maxie.
Well, yes,
because Derek, Julian hired Nina because she was incompetent and knew nothing about it. Maxie taught Nina everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
Yeah. Just saying, let's call it.
No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
I'm horrid, I know. It's all right.
All right. So, David, how do you? Let me ask you, since you haven't been on, on our show yet. You haven't had Take Two Radio in quite a while. Yeah. How are you viewing the whole Drew and Willow relationship?
I find myself enjoying the story because I think Cameron is rocking it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And I enjoy not liking Drew.
Yeah.
Right. They're very much love to hate.
Yes.
Yeah. And Willow, I think, I got to tell you, this is probably the first I actually enjoyed Willow since she first came on.
Yeah.
I loved her with Chase before. I loved all of that. But the minute that she got with Michael, it's like they didn't do very much with her.
No.
Well, that's the thing, is that they're both like, would you two pull yourselves together, please? They don't like her either. So they're both good guys, Willow and Michael.
Yeah.
And so you either need to have two messy people together or a good person with a messy person. Otherwise, it's just boring.
Right.
Drew and Willow and Nina are soapy.
Mm-hmm.
This whole thing is soapy.
It is. It's fantastic.
We're not trying to watch Hallmark. We're certainly not trying to watch Great American Homophobia, but this is soapy. This is what we watch soaps for.
Yes. Exactly. And I was talking with the one thing I can't stand is going on Twitter and seeing people say, "Oh, this is against their character," or Drew would never do this or Drew would never do that. And here's the thing. I was talking to Matt from 10th Floor, one of the other podcasts out there. If you don't listen or watch 10th Floor podcast, make sure to go out of your way to check that out, and Days for Dummies as well on their channel, because it is a fantastic podcast. Matt and Kat do a fantastic job.
They do.
But I was talking to Matt, and he and I grew up as wrestling fans. So the fact that we grew up as wrestling fans and have the background in wrestling, it makes us not look at characters who are doing things quote unquote out of character, because we've seen wrestlers go from babyface to heel in no time flat. So it's always out of character. But it's just, it makes it the point where you accept the fact that somebody's had a change in their character, and it's just more accepted by wrestling fans, so to speak. It should be more accepted by any kind of entertainment fans, because in general in life people do change for whatever reason.
Well, here's my thing is that I think, one, I agree with you that Cameron is rocking this.
Yes.
But it kind of seems like there's even more going on.
Mm-hmm.
He is unnaturally angry at Carly.
Yes.
For somebody that dumped her,
right,
when she hadn't even done anything. He is like, so I'm like, is this some sort of, is he mad that she didn't beg him to stay, that she didn't go crazy and do crazy things to get him back, and this is his way of acting out? You know what I mean? Because he's like really angry at her for like no reason.
And
she did nothing.
And I like how on today's episode, I like how he's kind of got that 5 o'clock shadow. Like he hasn't shaved, he's unkempt because he's boiling over with rage for whatever reason. And it's just, he's getting into that dark place.
Well, Cameron had said in January of last year that they were going to be doing a PTSD story with Drew.
I remember.
I'm wondering if they're circling back to that.
And I think that's it.
It's totally possible that they're circling back to that, and that's what we're seeing. And it's brilliant if that's what's happening.
Oh, it truly is brilliant. And let me tell you, because coming out of prison, the fact that you don't have that control, granted, he was in a federal, he was in Bentonville. Normally, if you were from, if you were caught by the SEC, you would go to some posh federal, prison.
Right. It's a white collar. Yeah.
You wouldn't go to some place like Pentonville, but this is GH. You don't have the, whatever. But the fact that he was in Pentonville and, he didn't have control of anything, the fact that he's able to, push his will on Willow, and knowing the fact that Willow is so weak-minded herself, he's enjoying the adulation that he has a minion that'll just answer to his every whim, and he's getting everything he wants.
And I also, I don't think he has control over Willow like a lot of people do. I think that, what she was saying about her hero complex, she wants somebody to, this is what she wants.
Yeah. Yep.
And it kind of also reminds me of, because the other day was the anniversary of Lucky's amazing takedown of Nick and Liz, his amazing confrontation with them. And it reminded me of when he said, what is it about you, cheating that turns you on so much? You know what I mean? And because her and Michael cheating on Chase, and I know, yada, 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 whatever. She was married to Chase. She was running around behind his back with Michael. Period. End of story.
That's all it is.
And, so is it the drama that she needs? Some people do.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. And I loved Tracy.
Oh God,
Tracy, she was like that. that she was resembling, that she was kind of acting like, and that's what's interesting. I'm sorry, soap opera characters are not supposed to be Mary Sue, good girl, go to, even the
Hold
good
on, I'll
girls
be
are
back.
bad girls too.
Okay.
I gotta stop.
Okay. But yeah, it's you're absolutely right. They're not supposed to be good girls, and I'm sorry, but Tracy just stole the show last week in many ways. Tracy was in the police department, in the interview room, spinning around on a chair, and not wanting to take anything seriously. Just absolutely brilliant from Jane Elliott. Just brilliant.
Oh, well, everything she does is. It was so
just amazing. And everybody going in to talk to her. Dante tried to talk to her. Lulu tried to talk to her. And the only person that can get through to her was Jason.
Yeah, then Jason. Yeah. Well, I mean, and even Jason had to talk her into then taking the deal that he had made.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he was just like, I don't have time for this nonsense.
Yeah. And it's like, so he goes to Tracy, and Tracy's like, I don't care if Willow's there with the kids. I don't want Drew there. Drew is not allowed there. Because the whole premise is keeping the kids close for Monica.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So, and Drew's been banished from the Quartermain estate.
And as I said, I am loving to hate Drew right now. I really am. It's like a love to hate thing for me. I'm enjoying watching him, and I'm enjoying wanting to throw things at my TV screen. I like that in a soap opera. But I felt for him today.
Really?
When he was talking about Monica.
Yes. Yeah.
That when he called her, and that's what's great about characters like that, like early Carly and stuff like that. They're doing these heinous things, but they show you these little pieces of humanity where you're just like, oh my God, this is brilliant.
Yeah.
And I felt for him.
Yeah.
I really did.
I did too, especially when he brought up, AJ gets forgiven, Jason gets forgiven,
Yeah,
but
so I'm like her first lost cause. But what's funny about that is that he's almost kind of channeling AJ.
Yeah.
Because AJ was the king of grievances.
Mm-hmm.
And, so he's kind of picking up that mantle a little bit too, which is fun. It would be great to have AJ around for this, or even Monica. That'd be great if we could have, but there's no way. But it was just really good. And then when he was, planning that, talking to Lucy about the house.
Yes.
And it's like, and like what he was saying about, Monica it was the first time he had been accepted and had like a loving family.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like he's trying to make one for himself with Willow and the kids and Skylar.
Yes, it absolutely is.
That's like what I got from that.
I did too, because of course when you think about it, and you think about the character of Drew coming on, and we know that he still has Jason's memories from before,
right?
And it's still the same Drew that grew up with Franco, with Susan, and that Franco threw down the stairs so he wouldn't get hurt by the guy that Susan was dating. I can't remember his name now. That was abusing Franco. No, that was abusing Franco.
Oh yeah.
The contractor that came in to work with ELQ about they found out who it was in the past, but whatever, who had molested Franco and whatever. And Franco pushed Drew down the stairs to get him out of the house. I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. So it's still the same Drew. So he's got a lot of baggage, to work through. And just because of the recast of Cameron Matheson coming in, that history is not erased. A lot of people want
Right.
to think of it as a different character but it's not.
It's not.
So, Drew has all of this baggage that he has to worry about on top of going to prison for the SEC violation, on top of being
Right.
held captive in Greece for
Right.
2 years. So he's got a
Right.
lot of stuff to deal with.
And he hasn't dealt with it.
He hasn't. No,
He hasn't dealt with any of it.
No, he has not dealt with it at all. So now this darker turn, yeah, it's a lot of PTSD that he has to work through.
Yeah.
So I did feel for him a bit, and you could see him kind of unraveling. Like I said, with the 5 o'clock shadow, the hair that's not perfectly groomed,
right?
And just the way that he brought up the past Quartermains and who did wrong, but he's the first one that's not allowed back.
Right.
You did. You had to feel some kind of empathy for him.
Oh, I absolutely did. I was just like, oh, the kicked puppy.
Yeah.
I absolutely felt for him. Yeah.
Yeah. And I like how Lucy's like, 5 bedrooms. That's quite large for just you and your daughter.
She's just like, well, yeah.
Although she's looking at the commission and she's like, I'll find you one.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Donna brings up last week was the anniversary of the firing of Dan and Chris. So Elizabeth Corte has been co-head writer for a year now.
Yes.
And it's been a rocky, 2024 is rocky because of the consistent changes in writing.
Yep.
But now we have a consistent head writing team, and they're blowing it out of the water. So, congratulations to that, and Elizabeth Corte, congratulations for helping to turn the show around. So we have been talking about Monica a lot. Last week we said it's probably going to be about 6 months or so before we actually get a Monica death, story or storyline.
Yeah, I would say, yeah.
And
I mean, honestly, that might be like the perfect time for Michael to come back.
Yes.
That might be a good segue for, when Michael comes back.
And do you think in normal Quartermain fashion that there's going to be somebody to escort Monica to heaven? Like whether it's Alan, a body double of Alan or Emily or AJ.
I mean, it's possible, but she's not going to die on screen, though.
No, you're right. She's not going to die on screen.
So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'd love them to do something like that, but
do you think that
I'd love them to bring well, Sean can't. He's under contract with Bold, so he can't.
Okay. Oh, that's true. I forgot he's on Bold.
I think he would do it for Leslie. He would not do it for GH. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's a moot point because he's under contract with Bold. He can't.
Right. I forgot.
I wouldn't hate them getting Amber Tamberlin back.
Right.
As Emily for it, though. That would be
good.
Fabulous. And she was on the special in December of last year.
Yep.
Yeah, the 60th anniversary special that they did. So she was on that.
Yep.
So
I mean, because anybody else, they would really have to use a body double. If it was going to be Alan or they'd have to use a body double because Stuart Damon passed away, obviously. And Donna, you're right. Normal Quartermain is not one.
Right.
But
yeah,
it's oh, excuse me. I do feel that something's going to take place, and I would love to see some kind of nod to history, because they even did something like that with Oscar, and Oscar was on the show for a cup of coffee. You know, they had,
Mhm.
you know, Lila and Edward escort Oscar, you know, to the great beyond,
Yes.
which I cried at that episode. I will not, you know, I will I will admit I cried at that episode. That was the biggest swerve I've ever seen on a soap opera.
Yeah,
Um,
it's
all right. Donna said Denise Alexander. I don't know who that is.
she plays Laura's mother, Leslie.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. So let's kind of switch gears a little bit and talk about Rick and Ava, and how Rick shows
Amazing.
Ava to the apartment house and the apartment, and Ava's like, well, what's this? Well, you're gonna have to change up your living situation a little bit. This is something in your price range
Yeah.
that Avery can move into, because the judge is not going to look too kindly on you living in a hotel. So,
Yeah.
you know, I liked that whole scene with Rick and Ava in the apartment, because
Mhm.
it's kind of Ava accepting or understanding the fact that she's not as wealthy as she thought she was, or have
Yes.
not as much liquidity, if you
Yes.
will. And you know, she's kind of just like, what makes you think that I can't, you know, that I have to move here? Why am I downsizing, or what have you? Because she just doesn't want to
Yeah.
downsize. But then Rick kind of points it out to her and says, listen, you know, right now Avery is in Carly's house and she's happy, she's healthy, she's, you know, whatever. And if you have any chance of getting custody, you need a stable place to live.
Yeah.
And then they share a kiss,
Yeah.
which for Rick it could be, you know, conflict of interest because, you know, she's his client, but that never stopped anybody on GH.
Right? Oh God, yeah. No.
How many times has Sonny slept with the DA of Port Charles?
Sweet Jesus.
Um, so, you know, we saw that scene. Do you think that, or do you have any idea how long Rick is staying around for? Because it was only supposed to be a very short stint.
Right. And what's I remember he went on Steve's podcast when he first came back.
Yeah. Yep.
And he said that he was only going to be back for a few weeks. And Steve laughed. He goes, that's what you think, but Frank's going to keep you. It's going to get longer and longer and longer. And now look at where we are. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah. And he's recurring. He's not under contract as far as I know.
Right.
So he could go back and forth to the East Coast and, you know, come in for a few days, work, go home.
Yeah.
But, you know, I am loving the fact that Rick is there because he's a shit disturber, but he's a shit disturber that people like. And he's got so much drama with so many other people on canvas. And I think Angela froze. But I do, you know, I am enjoying Rick and Ava. I want to thank, first of all, I want to thank the 100 people that are currently watching. Angela froze, so we'll hopefully she'll be back in momentarily. I'll go ahead and wait until she defrosts herself. It might be that Boston cold. Rick and Ava right now are a very good couple. And I like them because they can be shit disturbers. They can go ahead and make make trouble for other people. And yeah, Donna, I agree. I'll get to that in a little bit. Christina's facial expression today when Natalia let herself in. Angela is back now.
Yes, sorry.
Welcome back. You defrosted yourself.
Yes.
But what were you going to say about Rick and Ava?
I just they're Sex on a Stick. Their chemistry is amazing, and they could be so much fun. Just a shit stirring couple.
They definitely can.
Yeah.
And I am enjoying. I can't wait to see more of it. Um, and like I told Donna, we'll get to today's episode.
Yes.
Christina's facial expression when Natalia let herself in with the key. So we saw the reopening. Speaking of Christina, the reopening of Charlie's Pub, which is now a gastropub. With a much different atmosphere than it was before.
Yes. I'm really surprised she didn't rename it.
I'm surprised too.
I was expecting like Adela's or something like that.
Yeah, I was expecting that too, but whatever. It's Charlie's Pub, and everything was going off without a hitch for the most part. Everybody, the who's who of Port Charles were there. Lucky being the bartender. We saw, and holy cow, how Jordan dismissed Brick when Brick went up to and was flirting with her. And she's like, "Okay, I've got a date, so I got to say goodbye."
Yeah, I like Jordan. I like Brick's thing for Jordan, but I like how she strings him along a little bit, but has like no intention of
right
letting it go anywhere. I enjoy their interactions.
I do too. I love seeing Stephen A. Smith on GH. It's a great crossover for ESPN and everything. And we'll get to the Kai situation in a little bit, but I would love. Everybody knows that Brick is played by Stephen A. Smith, who's an ESPN sports commentator, broadcaster, what have you. I would love for Brick to go visit Kai, and because Kai supposedly can't play football anymore, I would love for Brick to go in and be like, "Have you ever thought about being a sportscaster or getting into broadcasting?" I just think that would be
right. Yeah, that would be funny.
Just a nod to actual Stephen A. Smith's actual career, but I digress.
Yes. Yes.
Cody, he's spiraling. He's spiraling out of control.
Oh my God, he's spiraling. Yeah.
Now, we saw him try to, hit up Spinelli for money from the, society setups thing that they had that Spinelli's had.
That was really funny, especially him trying to get freaking $75,000 from him. I'm like, dude.
Yeah. I was actually expecting Cody to be like, well, you can hack into, the government treasury and, just get money into my account. You can do that for me.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, Cody's just kind of back to the way he started, in Port Charles. Just this, idiot who's down on his luck, acting out because, nothing's going his way. And, that's when, he ends up making mistakes. And he sure as hell made a mistake at the opening because he punched Lucky.
Yeah. Jeez. Don't ever punch the bartender. Jeez.
Who was just trying to break it up. And Brick comes through and Brick ends up breaking up the fight.
Right.
This is like...
Well, it looks like Cody's going to have another bad week. I have a feeling that he's going to find out Sasha is pregnant and assume that it's Jason's, or assume that something's going on with Sasha and Jason based on the breakdowns.
And I still don't see. I mean, obviously, we know Jason's going to care for the kid and whatever.
Right, he's going to take care of. I'm not seeing a reason that he has to pretend he's the father, and even if he does, they're not going. I know that there's a lot of speculation that they're going to hook up Jason and Sasha, but they're really digging in on Michael being a son to him.
Yeah.
And they're like amping up her feelings
Right.
for Michael. So, you know, I don't think.
No, I don't think that there's any romance in the future for Sasha and Jason.
Me neither.
Nope, me neither. Too many people are reading too much into it, and there are so many people that are expecting Sasha and Jason to hook up. I don't see it. I haven't saw it. I don't think
so either. I think it's going to be more paternal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think so too.
Honestly,
you know, and we
I mean, see she Jason. Doesn't want her baby affected by the mom.
Right. I mean, although, I mean, if we look at the whole of the show and the whole of the storylines, I don't think Jason or Sonny are going to be involved with the mob for too much longer. I mean, Jason's already starting to separate himself. And with Sonny's health condition, he's looking for an exit plan.
Yes, Sonny absolutely is. But and he's not, but the thing is that the Sidwell thing isn't mob.
No, it's not. It's terrorism.
Sorry, I know that's loud. My daughter's printing something out. Sorry.
Oh, no worries.
The printer on the network. Sorry, guys.
No worries. It happens.
Yeah, so I don't think that, I mean, anything's possible, but I think we're going to see Chad back this year.
Yeah.
And and Steve in his podcast was just really negative about the idea of Jason and Sasha, and he usually will promote things.
Yeah.
So, and he did not.
I mean, the only thing is, unless he's given us, you know, a false narrative, but I don't usually feel like he does that.
Right.
Like they won't talk about stuff that's not being shown, but they also won't, you know, lead us in a different direction.
Right.
So today, speaking of Jason, we'll kind of stick with him for a little bit. Jason and Anna today at the PCPD, and Jason kind of put his foot down.
And very passionate about
That's probably the most passion I've ever seen the character of Jason Morgan ever have.
What's really funny is that I've seen him have passion many times, and it's usually about Michael. That's the thing. Or Carly. He's had... I'm taking this printer off the network, damn it. My daughter has some audition or something tomorrow, so she's printing out.
Tell her good luck.
But it's no, we don't say good luck.
Break a leg.
Break legs.
Yeah.
Or break a leg, yes.
Give her the Sicilian treatment.
Yes, he's very, very passionate.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to Michael and Carly being that family thing to him.
Yeah.
And he really was, and like the spoiler today was Anna sees Jason in a new light, but I'm like, that seemed weird because unless she didn't realize what Michael meant to him.
Right. Which could be. I mean,
right.
You know, Anna's never been that close to Jason. I mean, Robin was,
right.
But.
And Robin will be the first one to say that Jason will do anything for Carly or Michael. So.
Right.
But I also think this is probably also going to be part of the setup of him taking care of Sasha.
Yeah, probably.
Because he feels he has to do something for Michael.
Yes. So, I mean, they'll have scenes. Jason and Sasha will have scenes.
Yeah, they have scenes this week with her opening up to him. I just don't think it's going to be romance. I think that when Michael comes back, they're going to hook up Sasha and Michael.
That would be nice. I liked Michael and Sasha together more than Michael and Willow. I know why they did Michael and Willow, but
So Chad did a live on Instagram last week, and he said, he was talking about Frank leaving the door open and stuff, and he goes, and he said, and this is like a quote, he said, it might be sooner, it might be later, but the way he said it sounded like him coming back is a definite.
Yeah. Which is why they didn't want to recast.
Exactly.
Because Chad, and obviously there are, temporary recasts when he needs it, whatever. And Robert Adamson was ready to step right into the role if necessary.
Oh, he has said that he'd come on permanently, but they don't want they want Chad.
Yeah, exactly.
So
it's, give Michael some time to recover in Germany and, get the skin grafts and get back to normal and get that, whatever. It's, he's
and
not.
They set it up already for why Carly's going to come back.
Mm-hmm.
Even though she had told Sonny she was going to be by Michael's side every second, but they set it up that she's going to come back because the place won't let her.
Yeah, won't let her in. They won't let her see.
Won't let her. So I have a feeling it'll be Michael. We won't see it, but she'll say Michael told her to go home since he had to concentrate on this and she really couldn't see him and yada yada. So yeah.
So she'll be home sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Her and Brennan. I have a feeling Carly and Brennan will have a somewhat of a relationship.
Oh God, yes.
Until Carly learns that Brennan's trying to recruit Jocelyn for the WSB.
Well, not just that. I'm sorry. I might be delusional. I might need to be putting my clown makeup on. I still think Dex is alive.
I think so.
I still think this is a WSB op and Dex is alive. And Joss is going to be furious. And Carly is going to be furious on her behalf.
I completely agree with you.
Evan is still in the credits on Friday, and they have updated them.
Yeah, and they haven't shown, and he hasn't been on screen in months.
Nope. They did that thing with showing his ghost, and then they played his voice or something one time, but they have not shown him, and he's still on the credits. And I think that we might find out soon that he's alive.
Yeah, I agree.
I have a feeling that something's going to happen. I mean, we're in February sweeps. I've been saying, that I've been saying it since day one too, Donna. Donna and I are like this on this one. So we are, if anybody doesn't know, February sweeps starts this Thursday.
Right.
The 30th, January 30th. Mm-hmm. And it goes until the last Wednesday. It's 4 weeks. It's the last Wednesday in February, I believe.
Okay.
February is that short month.
All right.
Hold on. Let me look at the calendar. Yeah, it goes until the 26th of February.
David,
I am back.
Hey, David. So we are in sweeps, and I think GH is going to bring it. I think we're going to find out Dex is alive. I think the Geo secret's going to come out.
Where are we? Are you doing February sweeps?
Yeah, we're just talking about Dex and the WSB. I think he's alive.
Well, he and Josh, Evan and Josh are going to be in Florida.
Yep.
On February 22nd and 23rd.
Yep.
They're doing Naples and Tampa.
Uh-huh.
And last night, boys.
Maybe we'll find out then.
Well, I think we find out on screen before then. I think because February sweeps we're in them as of Thursday. We're in February sweeps. But last night, Eden did a Zoom with Chad.
Right.
And she was asked about it, and she said, well, on soaps, people, dead doesn't necessarily mean dead. And
that's true.
Right.
I wanted to be there.
Yeah, they didn't give him a funeral or memorial, and I think it's because they faked his death.
Yeah.
And Evan is still in the credits.
Yep.
I check every Friday.
Yeah.
I mean, I always look at the credits anyway, but I'll go through them a couple times. But the very first one I look for is his name every week. And he's still there. And they have updated them because they added Kai. And I mean, they've added people since he died.
Yeah.
And ever since, I didn't think they were killing him off to begin with, but ever since his eggs, like everything about that smelled like something was up.
He went too far with the exit interviews, in my opinion.
It was, and exactly, it was like insane.
Yeah.
How much, and I contacted his PR because I had contacted GHPR.
Yep.
And Marianne had said, this is his representative, the head of GHPR. And I contacted his PR, and she told me, or he told, I don't know who it was an email, said that it had to go through GH. And that was after New Year's.
So,
that email that I sent.
That right there.
Well, I had a little note. I was reading about that event, about the Florida event with him and Josh. And Linda comes out saying it's Evan's goodbye party.
Yeah, I'm not sure. There's so much. I mean, it's possible, but there's just so much weird about this. There just really is.
I know there hasn't been.
Yeah, so I still think he's alive. So, yeah.
I do too.
We'll see.
I mean, the only other possibility is that not only that they fake his death, but put him in witness protection. If they're gonna give him a goodbye, because because he did mention something about the funeral surprise.
Yes, so, in one of the articles it had said there was going to be a twist at the funeral, and we haven't even seen a funeral yet.
Right.
So
because theoretically speaking, his body is still at the morgue because there's no next of kin to collect the body, or they're still holding it for investigation or whatever their reasoning is. He's still in the
they haven't buried him yet. Right.
So I mean,
so I think there's going to be. I think that's going to be more stuff is going to come out about that in February sweeps. We'll see, but I think that there's more to come with that.
It's going to be such great February sweeps, because not only are we going to find out, that what's happening with Dex, we're also going to see Chase and Brooklyn go through a very, very rough patch. Today we found out that Chase has no swimmers.
Okay. Did anybody not see that coming as soon as they said they were going to go to a doctor?
Yeah.
No.
I knew it was going to be him because we knew she had a baby.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to come from her. Saying that she couldn't do anymore, but then that blew me out of the water.
Yeah, no, I knew it was going to be Chase because that ups the drama. Steve had asked earlier why they made Chase sterile. Because they're about to reveal that Chase's wife has a child that she did not tell him about with his best friend and partner.
Yes.
And so the fact that he can't have a kid just kind of twists that knife just a little bit more.
And my feeling is if they're going to go this route, you blame Peter for that.
Why?
Because of that poison.
Oh yeah. That's possible.
That did a lot of things for him.
Yep.
And they never looked into that before. Yeah.
Absolutely. And if it was that, then that also means that maybe they could do something to make it reversible. That, they could come up with some miracle that fixes it. But it's just he's finding out that he can't have children, and then it's going to come out that Brooklyn had a kid.
Yeah.
And it was with Dante.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people, yes. That's where the drama is. I know a lot of people are like, oh, but maybe it's Cody. That's not the drama. The drama is with Dante.
For Dante. But it's
because that would mean Dante knows. I don't think Dante knows.
I don't think so either. No.
I think that, it's going to be because Brooklyn knows she had a kid that gave her up for adoption. I don't think she knows it's Gio. I think the only one who knows it's Gio is Lois.
It's Lois.
Yep.
So that's going to be problems with Lois and Brooklyn, Dante, Olivia, Tracy, Sunny, Ned.
Yep.
It's going to be problems with Brooklyn and Lulu. It's going to be problems with Lulu and Dante. It's going to be problems with Dante and Lulu.
Yep.
Or Dante and Brooklyn, Dante and Lulu, and Cody just doesn't bring as much drama.
Yep. And even
It's
Sunny
going to be
and Lois.
Dante. And like a lot of people are like, oh, Sunny must know. That's why he, Sunny doesn't know. He didn't know Dante was his kid.
Right.
And Lois didn't know Dante was his kid.
Yep.
So, and Sunny would never just let his grandkid be somewhere else. He'd be like, I'll take him. It's my blood.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So Goodbye Girl says, wait, what did Peter do? Well, we're going back to when Peter poisoned Chase.
Mhm.
That he wanted to poison Finn.
Right.
But he ended up poisoning Chase instead. So
Mhm.
that could have made Chase sterile. Possibly.
Yes.
No. Aisha asks, what if Brendan is leaving Sidwell alone to force Jason into working with the WSB? Another reason for Carly to be pissed off. Well, I mean, here's the deal. Okay, so since Aisha brought him up, Sidwell.
Mhm.
How, it's a soap opera. I get it. Suspend disbelief. But you know what? Here's the thing. I like the way they explained it. What I was doing was in countries that had very lax laws or no laws at all, so I didn't break any.
And, the whole thing with Sasha is that Jason or Sasha would have to file a report. And Jason's not going to do it because that's not what he does.
Exactly. Yeah.
And Sasha's like, yeah, I want no part of this. Sasha's pregnant right now. She is absolutely not going to rock that boat.
No.
Or open that can of worms. It's absolutely not going to happen. So I don't think there's anything Brennan can do to Sidwell.
No,
because there was no.
There's no extradition.
There was no in the country they were in. There was an area. It was a lawless area. It was like the Old West kind of thing.
Yep.
So there's nothing that they could do to Sidwell.
No, nothing. So I mean, I kind of like how they did. I really like how they did explain it though, because we were talking last week, like how the hell is there no, no warrants, no international Interpol files or whatever? It's because of where they were.
And it makes sense because there are a lot of places in the world, holes in the walls where it's like that. It's, and it's not that the places don't have laws. It's that there's no one to enforce them because the bad guys are too strong.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
It's just like the Old West. It's, and there are still a lot of places in the world like that. So,
we are an hour in. I want to thank the 119 people that are currently watching on everything. Go ahead and like this video.
I'd like to thank the 119 people too.
Yes. Thank you all for watching. Go ahead, hit that like button, subscribe to our YouTube. We're not done yet. But just go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube at Suds Media or whatever you're watching this show on. Definitely give it a thumbs up. If you're watching on Facebook, give us a reaction, a like, a heart, whatever, and hit that notifications bell. And definitely interact with the comments. It does help with the algorithm because we want to grow this network. I also want to remind everybody, coming up after Monday Night Raw, right here on the same networks that you're watching, is the Raw Rundown, where we go over Monday Night Raw. I am planning to stay up tonight and be a part of it.
He always says that.
I do. I've said that for the past 3 weeks, and I've fallen asleep before the end of Raw. But I am planning on staying up tonight and joining it. However, I do want to let everybody know that I did take WrestleMania weekend off, so I will, or Sunday and Monday after the 2 nights of WrestleMania. So I will be able to join a WrestleMania recap on both Saturday and Sunday, which is actually Easter weekend. So either way, I will be there for that. But it'll be following this show as soon as Monday Night Raw is over on Netflix. So we are now up to 124 people watching. So thank you. Go ahead and share, like. Let's keep growing the number. And I do want to go ahead and let everybody know that we are part of Suds Media is a part of the Chair Shot Media Group, media network that's being put together. We do go over, there's a lot of sports, a lot of wrestling, a lot of other sports and soap operas because we are a part of it. So like everything that you're watching it, I just, keep interacting and keep helping to get us to grow. Again, if you want to help us and donate to the cause of giving Laura Wright a Lifetime Achievement Championship belt, go ahead and donate at Suds-Media. I'm sorry, buymeacoffee.com/Suds Media. And if you do donate and help us out, your name will go on the card that we give to Laura Wright in April when we see her, which is actually the weekend before WrestleMania.
Nice.
So either way, we want to thank everybody for watching and thank you for the support.
Yes.
We're going to move on to another story that's been going on, and that is how'd you guys like the scene with Lucas and Jocelyn this week?
I loved it.
Yes.
I like
anything with the Spencer family doing things like that together. It's fun. I think it's hysterical that Carly is out of town and Sonny's just right there, but they're taking care of the girls, including Ava's child. But okay, that's all good. And I loved when Lucas asked her something about why she does something and she went, genetics?
Yeah.
It was so perfect. I can't remember what he asked her, but it was something about, that whole Spencer fam.
Yep. That was, I think it was because she went after Cyrus after the questioning, after, and basically told Cyrus that they were looking at him, and brought up, and he's like, why would you do something like that? Genetics?
Yeah.
I loved it. I enjoyed it.
He's like, hello. She's like, hello.
David, how do you like the reemergence of the Spencer family now on GH?
I do, and I am very much enjoying that. Thank you for asking. It's looking good. Alexa, I like Alexa's energy. She's like I'd say she's like a train wreck waiting to happen all over again. Of course, I think that was Julie's with a mantra too, wasn't it?
It was.
So
she's
she needs to calm
Julie's.
down. She does need to calm down because, listen, it's been 4 years. Everyone has moved on. You have to move on. You have to try and move on.
Yep.
And she's
not from her child, though.
No, not from her child. But I did like the part where Maxie's saying that Brooklyn also was tested. Brooklyn and Chase were also tested. And she softened up, which I like. And I know that's not going to be forever, but she's got to calm down a little bit because I think she's that's it. Her burner's got to be on simmer.
I like how Laura said today that Lucky is reminding her a lot more of Luke.
Oh yeah, I loved that.
And he really didn't want to be like that either.
No, he didn't.
But sometimes it just happens.
Exactly. It's a whole nature versus nurture thing. And I am enjoying how the Spencer clan is just dominating the show at this point.
Oh yes. Yes.
I agree with you, David. I think Alexa Havens is channeling Julie Berman's portrayal of Lulu. I'm enjoying it. I no offense to Em Ryland, but this is the Lulu that we needed.
Right. She was great, but she wasn't Lulu. She's not a bad actress, but she wasn't Lulu.
No.
That's just she wasn't.
It's like when WWE relaunched ECW. It was it was good for what it was, but it wasn't the ECW. It didn't have that aura of it.
Right.
Goodbye Girl, Liz and Lucky sitting in a tree. I loved the scenes that I like today's episode with Liz and Lucky at Turning Woods and how they got the the list of patients that Cyrus seen, and it was a little fumbly. They didn't have their story straight because the girl wasn't there, Tara, that they wanted to see.
Good job, Liz.
It was. You can tell they both felt like deer in the headlights because they didn't have a story concocted together at the beginning. So they were going off each other, and it was still just a little glitchy.
Yeah. But, it is what it is. It was fun. Yeah. They're cute. I mean, I've always had a little love-hate relationship with this because I love Lucky, but I always wanted Lucky and Emily. So I hated Liz from day one because I knew what that meant. But they're cute together. They are. And they're still cute together.
Yeah.
And like from the time he told her that he'd recognize her brush strokes anywhere with the Bobby sign, I was like, okay, darn it. I don't want to like them, but I do. So, yeah.
I mean, that was, and I like how the nurse was nice to them and trying to be so helpful. And then the guy who runs Turning Woods comes out and is like, what the hell are you doing here?
Yeah. And Lucky's like, well, I'm going to sue you.
Yeah.
How about that?
And I love how he turned the guy around so Liz could sneak behind the desk, and then the guy turned around too early, and she's like, my purse fell back here.
I know, right?
He's like, I'm still calling security. And he's like, don't worry, we're leaving anyway.
Don't bother, we're leaving anyway.
Just great stuff. I like them. I like how Liz and Lucky are kind of like the next Luke and Laura, and how they're on a smaller basis, but they're doing some, clandestine acts, trying to get to the bottom of a caper, trying to get to the bottom of a mystery, and they're working together like Luke and Laura used to. I think it lends to the history of the characters and the show.
Yes. Well, yeah, I mean, and they did stuff like this when they were younger too. They had but it was more with, it was the four of them: Lucky, Emily, Nick, and Liz. Mm-hmm. I think we all remember Dead Ted in the freezer.
I was not watching at that point in time.
Yeah. Well, it was Dead Ted in the freezer when Emily woke up with the dead guy in her bed, and they were
Oh, that takes me back. Let me see.
Yeah, right. Dead Ted. Yeah. Yep. So those were the good old days with the Four Musketeers, as everybody called them.
I was not watching back then, so I have no idea what that is. Pier 54 is currently in the middle of a Lucky and Liz Port Charles 411 series. So I'm listening through it all, and I don't think they've even gotten to that part yet. So
they were a little bit older. I mean, not really old, but they were out of high school and stuff. So
okay. So I'm sure it'll be maybe this week or next week.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I like seeing them together. I like how they're going to go through that list and kind of, contact the families, and they're going to try. So multiple people are trying to nail Cyrus at this point.
Yep.
Yes.
And for once, the police are going to get involved probably this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully.
Well, with Anna as the commissioner, I don't have much faith in the PCPD.
Well, I mean, it's not like it's just her fault because, you know, the PCPD are the freaking.
I wish they wouldn't play them that way.
I think, I mean, on soaps, when there's bad guys that are good guys, it just, you know, I mean, look at the freaking Salem PD.
Yeah.
You know, they used to be good back when, you know, not everybody was a bad guy that stuck around forever. But I mean, the PCPD haven't been crap since the 90s, since
I
they
will say,
reformed Sunny.
I will say, if you watch the Bay City PD is actually pretty good. So I've been learning that myself. But yeah, I do want to remind everybody that Dockside at the Bay will be back this week. Kim and I will record tomorrow night, and we'll be up on Patreon before it goes to YouTube and the RSS feed. Angela and I will be. We're still in a hiatus.
We're trying.
Down to Studio City, but we will be recording Angela Answers Fan Mail. We tried last week.
Yes.
Unfortunately,
The gods are conspiring against us. Is
yes.
the thing.
Hopefully tomorrow we'll have a new episode of Angela Answers Fan Mail up on Patreon, and later this week on YouTube and RSS. So stay tuned to Suds Media for all your soapy goodness.
Yes, soapy goodness, baby.
As we go through, as we continue to go through and talk about all the great soap operas. I also want to announce to everybody, as you all know, next month, Beyond the Gates premieres on February 26th. After that first week, Angela and I will have a special Beyond the Gates episode to talk about that first week of episodes for Beyond the Gates.
Yes.
So, and if it goes over well, and if we enjoy it, we'll probably keep it going. Another show to our portfolio. By that point, I may not be sleeping at all because of all the shows we'll be doing. But you know what? I'm okay.
You can sleep when you're dead.
Yes,
that's what they say, right? You can sleep when you're dead.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm way too old for that, but I appreciate the sentiment.
No, I'm enjoying what we're doing. I'm looking forward to Beyond the Gates. Has a great cast and an all-star writing team.
God, yes. I'm really looking forward to it too. I mean, General Hospital will always have my heart. They're my baby, but I am really looking forward to. In this day and age, you don't got to pick. That's what's beautiful. Is you don't have to choose.
That's the great thing about streaming. That's a great thing about DVR. You could watch everything if you have the time.
Yep.
You know, for a while last year, you know, when I was helping out with Take Two Radio, I was watching all 4 soaps, and let me tell you something, it gets time consuming. When I started working, I didn't have the time, so I cut out the majority of them and stuck with GH in the Bay, and you know, and once in a while I could watch Days. Young and the Restless got too boring for me, but
it can be hard
at times. Yeah,
it's a hard job, Vinny.
You're exactly right. All right, let's get back to GH because we have a couple more things to go over. We saw that Sunny had another cardiac episode. Yeah, and Natalia found him on the floor.
Yeah. Damn it, Natalia.
Put a pill in his mouth and called 911.
We can hope that was nitroglycerin.
And if she thinks I'm going to forgive her for it, she has another thing coming. Because I'm not.
So instead of the hospital, he goes back to his hotel room, and who does she call? She calls Brick. Yeah, and you know, Brick is the right.
Actually, she didn't call Brick. Brick showed up.
No,
because she was like, she saw him on the phone. On his phone, and she was like, "What do you do? You're doing business." That's
she called Isaiah.
Doing that. Yes, right. She called Isaiah. Yes,
that's right. Yes, she called Isaiah. And Isaiah came to check him out, and again said you should go see a cardiologist. You know, and said you can go to Mercy. Mercy doesn't know who you are. Um,
And
but
Sonny's like, impossible. I'm Sonny Corinthos. Everyone knows who I am.
except for the people in Nixon Falls,
Right?
who couldn't even run a background check on him, which is why we had the whole 6 months of Mike.
I enjoyed the 6
Mhm.
months of Mike, so
I did like him. I did like Mo and Cynthia. I told him myself.
well, I liked it because Sonny wasn't in town, but still, all good.
I liked it because it was a different character for him to play.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mhm.
it was just completely out of his element. And it did. It provided a great story for, you know, for when he ended up coming back and everything.
Oh
But,
yeah.
and of all people, Jack's to find him, um, of all people,
And again, another one I won't forgive.
and brought him back to Port Charles.
I hate that man so badly. Sorry. I'm sorry. I can't.
Um, but yeah, you know, I, you know, with Sonny now, you know, you're right. Brooke did show up because they were in the hotel
Mhm.
room, and Brick and Sonny started talking. Natalia ended up going to do Charlie's for the opening and said that, you know, Sonny had
Yeah.
some business to take care of, which is why he didn't show up.
And Christina's all, hurt by the. Sonny is the king of not being there for his children. I don't understand why she's so damn surprised. Like, good Lord, pull yourself together.
Well, Brick makes Sonny a doctor's appointment with a cardiologist in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
And Natalia and Sonny are going to take a trip out there under the
Yes.
guise of going for a deception business trip.
And I'm wondering if we're going to get their first kiss in L.A.
Well,
Now, a little side note, and this isn't just about my Sonny hate, but did you see today when Christina was all, but Dad, what just happened? Do you really think you should going anywhere? And he was like, Christina, Daddy's gonna be just fine. And I was like, that sent a shiver down my spine with how creepy that was. She was not calling him Daddy. It was just creepy. I was just like, why? Why? I needed ear bleach. Oh God,
yeah,
Daddy.
that
And like,
was a little cringy.
yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure. I mean, I knew it wasn't just me because we were talking about it in our chat, but ew, stop it.
Yeah. Robin and Patrick are in Berkeley, which is
Yeah.
LA. But not, you know, I mean, maybe he's going to see Patrick, but I don't think Patrick was a cardiologist.
He wasn't. He was like
He's
a
neurosurgeon.
Yeah.
Was he neuro?
yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't think
And I don't think he'd go see Patrick anyway because he doesn't want people to know.
right.
So that would kind of defeat the purpose. Although Sonny's an idiot, so
But so Natalia, you know, is going to do it under the guise of a business trip for deception. And then, you know, Natalia's scenes with Lucy today, you know, telling her about the trip, and she's just like, "Do you remember the conversation we had?" You know, just trying to.
And Lucy's just like, I take so many gummies that this totally could have happened, so I'm gonna play along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was rough to watch. I'm sorry. That conversation was very rough to watch. Instead of Natalia just saying, "Hey, I booked a business trip. Who wants to meet with Sonny?
Yeah.
You know, we're going tomorrow." It's like trying to tell Lucy, "Oh, remember we talked about this?" Like,
Yeah.
I don't get it. And
Yeah,
of all
it
people, they
was.
want to just meet the silent partner,
Yes.
who's
A
supposed to remain
spreadsheet.
silent for a reason.
Yeah, she can't handle spreadsheets.
Yeah.
Lucy's like, no spreadsheets.
Mm.
I can't do it. I'm just like, oh, stop it. You're running this
You're a
company.
realtor.
Knock it off. Right.
You're a business person. Spreadsheets
Yeah.
are your life.
And she was a librarian. Lucy came on as a librarian. She can handle a spreadsheet. For the love of Mike.
Oh, man.
Anyway. All right. Let's let David get a word in edgewise. I feel horrible. I'm going to be quiet. You go ahead. You talk, David.
Oh, jeez. I don't know where to start.
What are you liking about GH?
It's moving.
Yeah.
That's the simple answer.
What complaints do you have about GH? Everybody has complaints based on Twitter.
Do I have complaints? Yeah. I want some of the questions answered that haven't been answered yet. I'm very picayune about that. I mean, I want to know who killed Austin yet, and I probably won't ever know that.
No.
You can't fool a viewer. You can't sweep it under the rug and say, well, they'll forget. No, we won't.
You're right.
But there are other things. There's something else. Well, at least they're going to bring up Sam this week.
They're going to, oh yeah, because they're going to be reading the new will.
Mm-hmm.
No, they're finding out that she was murdered.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's something else that we didn't find out. Is Austin the only hole?
I think,
or did they cover him up, most of them?
They really have. I mean, there's not a whole lot of questions, I don't think, but
yeah, I'm not too sure. I mean, Austin's the only really dead, the loose end that, because we did hear him say, "Oh, what are you doing here?" So, who knows? I mean, that story's kind of been lost into the ether because of the writing changes and
Mm-hmm.
Everything. Jeannie says, Jean says, Lucy the meek librarian, but super slutty Lucy at night.
Oh, do we ever find out the reason why they wanted Michael Knight to get rid of that accent?
I honestly don't know. It was never really explained other than, he wanted to, I guess he was tired of being called the Kentucky Colonel. But yeah, they never really explained it other than that, and why he shaved off his beard.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
The one thing I had a ball with, and it's kind of minor, that we find out, and this is past, I know, because I wasn't on here discussing it with you. Well, offline I did. That it was I found it hilarious that Martin and Lois had the same coach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the humor, how they're injecting the humor in.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, they want the viewers to laugh and find humor in the small things as they go along.
Exactly. And it's speaking of humor, we're going to switch to our final topic. I mentioned earlier in the show, but we found out today. We found out last week that Kai has a career-ending injury.
Yep.
He can't play football anymore. So now he's going to go into art.
Hopefully.
And, Trina's coming in right after he finds out that he can't play anymore. So he's like, I'm going to focus on art and, art history and art appreciation. I mentioned it to Angela, David. You weren't on the Zoom at this point. I said I would love, because everybody knows that Brick is played by Stephen A. Smith. Right. I would love for Brick to go meet Kai and be like, have you ever thought about becoming a sports commentator or broadcaster? As a nod, because the hell, as a nod to ESPN and Stephen A. Smith's actual career. I think that would be kind of cool. And, obviously Kai is going to be sticking around Port Charles because he's not going into the draft anymore. Goodbye girl, I agree. Something was going to happen to keep him out of the NFL and whatever. But yep. I do feel like it's a big jump to go from being a football star to an art historian or an art, person. I think commentating or broadcasting would be a much smoother and more realistic transition.
Yeah. He still needs an education for that.
What was that?
He still needs an education for that.
Agreed. Absolutely.
Ironically, though, it's actually realistic. I know a lot of people I was friends with a lot of like high school hockey players that were like really, really good in Boston. Like insanely good. And they had career-ending injuries early in college or like in the minors. And they wanted nothing to do with hockey. They wanted nothing to do with sports. It took them a long time to come to terms with the fact that they couldn't play.
Yeah.
And my son was like that. My son was a amazing baseball player, and the Sox were scouting him, and he ended up with nerve damage in his arm from the way he threw all those years. And he had this weird sidearm throw, and he just wouldn't stop doing it. Ended up with nerve damage, and this kid lived, ate, breathed, slept baseball. And then when he found out he couldn't play anymore, and his whole plan was that he was going to go to college, he was going to try to be a baseball player, but he was going to go to college to be a teacher, because even if he couldn't play, he could coach. But with this injury, he couldn't even do that. And it took him probably 5 years before he'd even watch a Red Sox game. And this is a kid who watched every game, every season. It's very, very common. So that's actually, I liked that. I thought it was realistic that he swung so far. Because it's a painful thing for them.
Oh yeah. It is painful. I guess, and I guess it can go in the other direction too. for somebody who can't, gets injured early, but wants to stay adjacent to that, but so, it could go either way. But yeah, obviously with Trina's influence, and we also knew that Kai wanted to learn art, because of Trina, but even before Trina came into his life, that's why he took the art history course. He wanted the easy A. So we did see some inkling of that prior.
Yes.
So the fact that he can't play, he's going to be sticking around, and he and Trina are going to get closer. And do you think that Kai and Trina are going to end up in a relationship? And second question, do you think the Sabrina fans are going to put up a stink?
Oh, the Sabrina fans are absolutely going to put up a stink. They're already pulling up a stink. But I think that he was brought on to be Trina's love interest.
Yeah.
Yep. So I think they second guess themselves. Because I remember you saying when they brought Gio on, was initially, but he got lost in the shuffle.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now it looks like they could be putting Gio with. Well, Gio's going to have a lot of story coming up.
Yeah. But he's going to be with Emma.
With Emma.
Yeah.
I mean, we all thought that Gio and Trina could bond over the whole thing about learning about their parents later in life, especially Trina with her father. But obviously it looks to me like they're kind of setting up that younger adult scene now with Emma and Gio and Trina and Kai. And who knows? Maybe we'll see Joss and Dex back together.
Yes.
Because I think that's going to be a pretty good.
It will be a long road for them, but I think that
because you have to understand. And here's the thing: I know that Joss would be pissed at Dex for not letting her know, whatever. But when it's something like that, you can't let anybody know. Family, friends, nobody.
Yeah, but she's still gonna be mad, and it's and that's drama, and that's soapy goodness.
It is. Well, folks, I think we've kind of gone over just about everything. I think we went over just about everything.
I probably missed a couple of things here and there, didn't I?
A little bit. I will say that I like the chemistry that Isaiah and Jordan have. I like their flirting at Charlie's pub. I like their, whatever's going on there. Biggest question is, where the hell has TJ been?
I have a hunch.
There are rumors that he's on his way out.
That it's not true.
There are a lot of rumors that he's just going to be he's on his way out. I don't know that it's true. We'll see. But it's kind of how it's looking.
I'm in the boat with Angela there, Vinny. I'm afraid to. I don't like it when anyone leaves.
Is it just that he's going to be going off contract and becoming recurring, or is he just gone?
We think he's just gone.
Well, Todd,
but he was in that fight. He was in that Zoom.
Yeah.
He was in that Zoom with, for that charity Zoom that they.
Oh had. Yep. I agree. I heard about that Zoom. I didn't get a chance to watch it or join. But
that was very nice.
Yeah, the Soap Stars put on a great charity Zoom for the the people who've been affected by the fires in Los Angeles. And they raised quite a bit of money too.
Close to 29,000.
Yeah, so that's fantastic. But yeah,
350 participants.
That's awesome. It's awesome. But yeah,
I'm not talking guests. That's us guys.
Yeah.
Chris is gonna take credit for me.
That's awesome.
Sorry, my daughter just came home and to get her stuff she printed.
Yeah, no worries.
And brought me Cracker Barrel.
I love Cracker Barrel. But no,
she works there.
Oh, awesome. All right. You'll have to bring down some Cracker Barrel when you come for April.
You guys don't have Cracker Barrel there?
I think
not in my area, no.
I think we have about 2 in the
actual.
Yeah, my daughter works at Cracker Barrel. She's
no, we don't have one. I remember the last time I was at Cracker Barrel, that's when I was in Phoenix, and that was a long time ago.
Wow, yeah, I think we have like 3 in Connecticut, 2 or 3.
Phoenix has a nice one.
But there's so much regional problems with restaurants. Like I'm still waiting for Connecticut to get a Waffle House and get a Bojangles.
I would sacrifice one of my siblings, like on an altar, kill them to get a Waffle House up here.
Yeah, we need them.
Really, but still, I want a Waffle House here so badly.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, God, I love
the Waffle House.
Mm-hmm.
All right, folks, we're getting off the rail. We're about out of time. Been here for an hour and a half. 157 people watching right now. Thank you so much. Go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notifications bell. if you want to help donate and help the cause to get the Lifetime Achievement World Championship belt for Laura Wright that we're going to present to her in April, buymeacoffee.com/Suds Media. And if you do donate, your name will go on the card that we give to her with it as well.
And I know that I was going to have that Zoom last Friday. My life went sideways because one of one of the parents was sick, so I had to pick up extra with the kiddos. But we're going to do a Zoom to kick off February sweeps this Friday night. All the details will be on my Twitter tonight, tomorrow at the latest. It's going to be $5. It just helps offset the cost of our daily Zoom and the YouTube TV and all of that fun stuff we do. So I will have information about that, and that's going to be a good time. We always have a blast with them.
All right. And David, where can everybody find you on social media?
Well, you can find me at Take Two Radio Crew on X, or you can find me at Site Advocate on X, on both of those. I'm just David S. on Blue Sky.
Okay. Awesome.
And I am on Facebook. David Salvani on Facebook.
All right. Fantastic. And Angela, as always, where could people find you?
Petty Prattle on on Twitter, on Facebook. I'm everywhere. Brooklyn 74. My DMs are open. Anybody has questions, concerns, complaints, you want to rant, if you want the link for our daily Zoom, everybody is welcome to join. Just let me know, as long as you can play nice, no matter what fan base you're in.
Absolutely. And as always, you can find me at Vinny Suds or at Suds Media on Twix, at Suds Media on Blue Sky. I'm on Facebook. If you're watching this live, we do stream live to that Facebook page for every episode as well. We want to go ahead and just go ahead and show some support to the rest of the podcasts, not only in the Chair Shot Media group that you're probably watching this, that you could watch this on, but also our other podcasting friends, whether it's James Law Jr. or the 10th Floor or Pier 54.
We are a podcasting family.
We are, exactly. Thank you all for the chat. You've been awesome. Stay tuned, because on many of these same networks, socials that you're watching this on, we will be back with the Raw Rundown after Monday Night Raw ends on Netflix tonight, probably around 10:30, 11, but Eastern time, of course. But either way, we will be back next week, which is already February. And so 2025 is already starting to fly by. We'll be back next week, next Monday, same time, same channel, for another edition of Suds News. Folks, have a great night.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.